Hey folks, Urban Combat Survivor here again. I wanted to make a video today about immediate action in case of SHTF scenario or collapse, whatever you want to call it. I've seen a lot of videos out there on bug out bags, bug in scenarios, what to have, stored, what to have, prepped for this or that, or various different things. But what I haven't seen is a lot of people talking about the immediate response that you need to have to something. Of course, in my last video, I talked about the statistical probability that you're not going to be home when the shit hits. But once you get home, what should you do? What are the things that you need to take care of real quick? Of course, the first thing is going to be to get your gun. Get your gun, make sure it's loaded, operational, and keep it with you everything you do. That's just smart. If you're, whatever your primary home defense weapon is going to be, I don't think it'd be smart to be running around your house with a rifle. So a shotgun or a sidearm is probably your best bet, but I'm not going to go on to that. I'm not a gun expert. I have a 12 gauge shotgun and some ammunition for it, and that's my primary home defense weapon. What things should you do when the world is going crazy out front? That's a question that not many are answering. One of the first things that I think you should do is, after grabbing your gun, make sure everything is locked. Make sure your back door is locked, however many entrances you have into your home, make sure everything is locked up. A locked door isn't going to stop people for a very long time, but it is going to give you plenty of notice if someone's trying to come through there, because you'll hear the racket. Which brings me to the second thing you should do. Turn off anything that's making noise in your house. If you have a television on, if you have whatever, turn it off or turn it way down, because if you can't hear what's going on around your home or your apartment or whatever, you can't respond to it and you can't be safe. The next thing I would do, if it really breaks down, is learn where the water main to your house is. For those of you that live in an apartment, I'll get to that in a second. Learn where the main valve to your house is. It's just a valve, just like what you use to turn on and off a hose, except it's probably going to be in your basement if you have a basement. If not, it might be out front of your house, wherever it is. If it's outside the house and there's something going on out front, I probably wouldn't advise going out there. But if it's in your home, turn off the water main, because if there's any contamination or breakdown of the water supply, the water in your home, already in the pipes, and more importantly in your water heater, is still clean water. For those of you who live in an apartment, the water heater part is important. If you turn off the feed valve to your water heater, and of course turn the water heater off so it doesn't keep trying to do its thing while power's still running, you have, depending on the size of your tank, 20 to 30 gallons of clean water. If you figure an average of a gallon a day for one person, and you have 3 people in your home, you have a 30-gallon tank. That's 10 days of clean water just from your water heater. That's not including any bottled water or anything else you've put up. So turn off the water feed to your water heater. I would do this even if you turned off your main valve, because if anybody opens a faucet in your house, it can drain through gravity and that kind of thing. So there's that. Now you've got your doors and windows locked and checked. You've got your weapon with you. You've got your water main turned off. At this point, you also have noisemakers turned off, and you have the power source to your water heater turned off. The next thing is you should have predetermined lines of sight. That means whenever you're walking out your front door, whatever your front door is for you, whenever you're looking out your window of your kitchen or your living room, or looking out your back door, start thinking about lines of sight. Think about how far can you see and what can you see from that door or that window. If something's going crazy, you should have places that you've already thought out and checked where you can fairly safely look. If you can't see what's going on, you can't respond to it. You don't want to have to open your front door and step out to look around if you don't have to. If you can peek from a top front bedroom window or something like that, have that already figured out. Figure out what things that are occluding your line of sight that you can remove quickly. For instance, I have a neighbor, the immediate yard next to mine has one of those 6-foot tall Home Depot slat fences. If something goes down, that thing goes down quickly. It's not going to stay up there because there's an alleyway behind my house, and if someone gets behind that fence, they can walk right up to the edge of my yard, hop that fence, and be to my back door in just a few seconds, 2 seconds tops. So that fence will be coming down because I've thought about line of sight. Think about what you're looking at, from where you're looking at it, and what they can see of you. If you're looking out your front window and you're just peeking around the edge there, like a secret squirrel, you got less of a chance of being seen. If you have to open a door or open a window, that's something, movement catches your eye. So anything you're opening or flapping or making movement that's gonna catch somebody's attention is probably a bad idea. So, make sure everything's locked. Make sure everything's turned off. Make sure you can see, you can hear, you have your weapon, and you've got 20 or 30 gallons of water. Because remember, you're gonna die of thirst long before you die of hunger. So water is even more important to have put up than food is for the short to mid-term of any SHTF scenario. This is also good for those of you who are planning on bugging out to the middle of nowhere, because I really don't believe you're going to get out immediately. I believe what's going to happen is most people are going to wind up holing up in their homes and waiting for the most severe initial riots to calm down. So even if you do have a plan and you do have a place to go, you still need to consider what you're going to do immediately if you can't get in your car and drive away without a problem. So consider that. Consider your lines of sight. Consider what you're doing first. Consider what you're going to do if everyone's not home when and if the shit hits the fan. Because if everybody's not home, you now have to consider what you're going to do about that as well. Do you have a plan for it? Talked about that in my last video too. So there it is. Urban Combat Survivor signing off.